Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pig. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 15 upsets. Let's get this money. We hit upsets every week. No one is better than us. Let's get to the first game. NFC South. We got the Atlanta Falcons at the New Orleans Saints. Falcons are +4. And listen, I know a lot of you guys have backed off from the Falcons. I get it. It does seem like a team in complete free fall. But I got to tell you, man, I'm getting a little bit of hopium from them bringing Ritter in to start at quarterback for Mariota. Mariota's been absolutely terrible the last 5 weeks. There's no other way to spin it. There's no other way to frame it. I think that will add a boost to the team. And my main question for you guys is, can Ritter be worse than Mariota? And even with Mariota's poor play, even with him throwing balls into the dirt, Falcons keep games close. Falcons are a scrappy outfit. Falcons defense getting healthier. I really like them with the +4, but I also think they win outright. Now, you look at the Saints, and if you plug in the Saints on a game of Madden, yeah, that roster's powerful. One of the best secondaries in the league. Defensive line that's pretty gritty and dirty. I get it. But it's not translating to the field. I feel like the Saints defense is on checkout mode. I feel like they've already proverbially busted their nuts, so to speak, and they're already on vacation. I feel like the Saints defense is already on booking.com looking at where to go. And you look at Andy Dalton, and I know the advanced statistics for him are good. I get it. But look at his play against the 49ers. Look at his play the last 3 or 4 games of this year. I don't think he can do much, and I am scratching my head why famous Jameis Winston isn't getting a chance here. To take advantage of the Falcons' defense, you have to throw it, and you can throw it on them at will. I just don't think Andy Dalton's checkdowns are going to get in rhythm. I don't think the Saints get any big plays, and now, you worry about the Saints' run game getting going, but it doesn't seem like they're all that dedicated to it. And I believe this is what Dean Pease will do for the Falcons. He's going to play a bare front, put 8 men in the box like he did against the no-names, and he's going to stop the run and make Andy Dalton beat him. I don't think Andy Dalton beats him, and I think we see a special game from Cordero Patterson. He makes 2 or 3 big plays, which is the difference in this game. Give me the Falcons over the Saints. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell at the New York Jets. Lions have moved up to +1 on BetMGM and a few other books. Well, this is where we want them, right? I mean, this is where they've lived this whole year on Lawson's upset list, and this is where I'm going to pick it out and grab it once again. And I know it's not like a colossal upset at this point. It's not like us taking them against like the Giants, for instance. I get it. But this Jets defense is really damn good. And this Jets defense has 3 or 4, dare I say, elite defensive players in this league at this moment. But I just think the Lions are an unstoppable machine at this point. I've been telling you about the offensive play calling all year, and finally the mainstream media has started to notice. I think Johnson will be able to put Goff in good places. I think the Lions will be able to run the ball. I think the key against this Jets defense is not to throw it, but to run it. You saw the Vikings move the ball consistently against the Jets defense due to them establishing the run game. I think the Lions get it going. Quinnen Williams is banged up. I think he'll play, but that ankle injury or whatever the hell it is, isn't looking good. And the Lions, they have been getting better at running the ball every single week. A lot of the talks about Goff and St. Brown is a fluid connection that can be hit at will, but this isn't about Goff. It's about the Detroit run game and the play action pass. And let's go to the other side of the ball. Mike White's playing. I think Mike White gives the Jets the best chance to win at the quarterback position. I think it's an upgrade over Zach Wilson, of course, and I think it's an upgrade over Joe at this point. But this isn't the same Lions defense from like week 4 or week 5. This is a different unit. Kaminsky is one of the most underrated defensive linemen in the league. Detroit's getting a pass rush, and I got questions about this Jets offensive line. They're not bullying people like they did earlier in the year. And then if they're in full pass situations, I think Mike White's going to take some risks. I mean, the Bills didn't have Von Miller last week, and you saw they damn near broke 4 ribs of Mike White. I think Mike White will churn it over more than Goff. I don't think this is going to be the typical swashbuckling Detroit shootout type game we come to expect from Dan Campbell's boys. But I see like a 24-17 win for the Lions. I think they grind it out, and I think they just make more plays on offense than the Jets, and I think the Jets lose the turnover battle. I like Mike White's gusto. I like what the kid brings to the game, but there will be turnovers this game. Give me the Lions to win in the cover in the Meadowlands once again. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Carolina Panthers. Steelers plus 2.5. Listen, I don't care if Pickett plays or if Mitch Trubisky plays. I like the Steelers here, and we got a lot of Falcons fans who follow the show. I'm not trying to offend anyone, and I'm not a Panthers hater. I was really impressed with what they did in Seattle last week. Defense made the right plays at the right time, and they were able to run the ball. But listen, I don't think Foreman's going off for 100+ yards against the Steelers defense. Yes, we saw J.K. Dobbins have an absolute field day against the Steelers run defense, but Darnold isn't running read option. There isn't a threat of Darnold running the ball, and at a certain point, I'm betting on Darnold returning to what he was. A below average to poor quarterback in this league, a quarterback who will lose confidence in the wince of an eyelash. That's the type of guy Sam Darnold is. Now, the Steelers' offense, you do get worried about him a little bit. You do get worried about Mitch Trubisky's turnovers. Hell, if Pickett starts, you get worried about his turnovers. But one thing I've liked from the Steelers the last 4 or 5 weeks is they're actually able to run the ball better. And when I look at that, I just see the Steelers having more balance in this game. Now, Mitch threw those 3 interceptions that gave us the win with the Ravens pick last week. I think he'll come out, play more conservative. This is going to be a grinder. This is going to be a sweater, but I think the Steelers pull it off. Next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys. Them boys at the Jacksonville Jags. Cowboys are -5, -4.5. Depending on your book. Can the Jags do it again? They came through for us last week. They came through for us numerous times, and we stayed on this bandwagon all year, and this is going to be a tough one, man. The Cowboys are not a joke, and the Cowboys can run the football. They can pass the football. They play great defense, but I do see the Cowboys coming out a bit disinterested here. I do see home field advantage being a big factor. Now, you guys know I'm not a big home field advantage guy. I'm not one to hype it up if it doesn't need to be hyped up. But I think the Cowboys come in here with a lackluster first half. And one thing we've learned, if you leave the Jags hanging around in the second half, they'll come back and bite you. They'll come back and bite you, and I think that's what the Jags are doing here. Trevor Lawrence is playing the best football of his career. Jags are starting to run the ball good, and you have to run the ball against the Cowboys, because if you throw it 45 or 50 times, you're going to get absolutely blitzkrieged. And I'm looking at this Cowboys team, and I'm not overly concerned with what I saw against the Texans. But I do think the Cowboys are in a little bit of a jog mode now, and I think the Jags catch them at the right time. Jags defense is playing better, and I think we're due for a Dak Prescott stinker. There isn't a lot of science, but a Dak Prescott stinker could be coming on Sunday. Give me the Jags against the boys. Be careful with this one. This is just a spider sense. non-science pick. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. Dolphins plus 7.5. I'm joking with this one, but I guess this is my question to you. Like, everyone's picking the Bills to cover this game, and I know we're talking upsets here, but I feel like it's a borderline upset picking the Dolphins to cover. And I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on this game. Like, I'm seeing a Bills team that leaves teams in games. They play sloppy. They don't got Von Miller anymore. They're a little bit desperate. Like I've been saying, their wide receiving core outside of Diggs is one of the most overrated units in the league, and you saw that with them bringing Cole Beasley in. But my main question and why I want to pick the Dolphins to cover, and I wanted to get your opinion, is don't the Dolphins have to have an Alamo here? I mean, because it feels like the wheels are falling off this bus. And when I look at the Dolphins, I see a talented team. I mean, they're so banged up. But doesn't there have to be an Alamo? Isn't this the time when the Dolphins make their last stand? I know Sundays, we got a wind alert coming. We could get lake effect snow in Buffalo. And we know that's not going to mesh well with the Dolphins. But could that keep this game closer than people think? Are the Buffalo Bills as good as Vegas thinks, as good as you guys think, as good as the talking heads on TV think? They've proved time and time again this year that they simply aren't. You know, I'm not trying to say put the money line on the Dolphins, but you should be considering Dolphins to cover at the very least. And the Dolphins have a good week and get healthy. Don't rule anything out. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet. Hit that like button. Lawson Bets NFL on Instagram. Add your boy.